All right, good morning. Welcome back to the During Business Hours podcast. You got us on video, on digital, on sound. Here with Eric. It is Friday morning. Pretty sure this is going up on Friday now that we got this down to a bit of a science. I think we left off yesterday speaking about where, when, and how to find our customers, how we used to do it. And then today, let's go over some of the advertising tactics. Like for small businesses, what would you say people can do freely without any cost to them?
Learn what SEO is.
See, SEO is, if you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. So you can optimize a site, but that costs you money. You can optimize your pages, doesn't cost you money, but that doesn't optimize your ranking on Google, because that's basically the only place that your site is going to be filtered through Google, Bing, any of the other search engines. But optimizing your Facebook, postings, videos, engagement, Instagram, any of your free pages before paying.
Yeah, being sure to actually utilize that and post a little bit of content. We had Instagram was for little photos of things we were trying to put out. I never really used Twitter while we were here, but that was just little small things. Facebook is the deals and ads, which we're not really talking about right now. Mm-hmm. And then Craigslist. That's your post, deals.
See, what used to be great was Craigslist was free, and you could post as much as you wanted until somebody else flagged your shit. Nowadays, you got to pay $5 per post to keep it up. Back in the day, 2013, 14, it was the Wild West. Nobody cared. Nobody flagged anything. Even Yelp had their Yelp Connect you pay now $80 a week for was free. You could post, make statements, posts for updates, all that stuff. Free. Everything is monetized now through them. So I find it a lot harder because we spend about $6,000 a month just on advertising now with our ads team, our marketing team, Yelp, Google, Facebook, Instagram. We abandoned Twitter. I hate Twitter. It's toxic.
Twitter's just where people go to shout into the void about their problems.
Everyone wants to be the center of attention. Everyone. I don't understand how people can be so full of themselves with so much going on and then bitch behind the scenes that nothing's going on for them, or the boot of the world is on their neck. It's not how it is. You're the one who's laying there and letting people walk all over you. Mm-hmm. You can stand in the shadows and make $1 billion and nobody's going to care or notice or want to be you. But if you're trying to be in the center of attention, you got a lot more eyes, a lot more scrutiny, under a lot more regulation. But I used to post on Craigslist, Yelp, Nextdoor. There was a place called Repairs First, I think, which gave us like a couple of leads a week thing.
And we get like 2 a month now. I see them roll through.
They've fallen by the wayside. Even their site is starting to get decrepit and old. But nowadays, if I was just starting out, I'd stick to Twitter, not Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Make as much content as possible and put it out there, and then tag it in your local groups. Facebook, like our Carmichael's group, everyone knows us. Everyone recommends us.
Yeah, if you could begin to get traction locally, hopefully you could pop the algorithm or something, and then you'll start trending, or at least just pop up on more specifically for TikTok.
And you got to spend a lot of money because these are the free ways, but then you barter your work to a graphic designer. Somebody's got a broken phone who makes sites.
There are so many artists I follow online that have the most busted shit.
Tablets, drawing tablets.
You want to make me a graphic? I will fix your S8 that's normally $200. Do it for like 20. Ship it to me.
Exactly. We have so many people like that want to barter their system, their process, they do whatever. Then you get the sour side of people. Like yesterday, we had that. I'm dissatisfied, but I work for $300 an hour. Anything I can do to get a discount?
It's not about the money because I make so much money. Yeah. I just want this repair for free.
It's another story we'll get into later. But we were talking about, the newer people, because there's so many of them flipping phones that are now getting into repairs. And I see all of them complain of how they can get their overhead low. How can I start making more money? What's something to drive into your business? How can I increase revenue without increasing my my advertising? These are things you should ask your team, not a bunch of people on Facebook. Everyone's got a different opinion. But for those who are here, want to listen to me, because I get a lot of people asking me in the DMs, what did you do? Where'd you start out? Well, I was a drug addict. I could sell anything, everything. Pawn shops, people. I got 9 years sober now, but back then, I survived on making like $150 a day without a job to make my fix. Excuse me. And so, if I can do that on drugs and nobody trusting me, imagine what you can do if you were clean shaven, dressed up, nice collared shirt, going around town, handing your cards, your flyers out. We're scraggly here. We just don't care at the moment. We're behind the scenes. We got teams for that.
Podcast.
Oh yeah, we got teams for that. They do that for us. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to that point, then you can have somebody do it, and then your 5 a.m. shadow doesn't matter. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
5 a.m. shadow. I got something in my eye. It's killing me. But with TikTok and Facebook, so say you make a TikTok and you post it onto the Facebook groups, and they know you. So now you're in there, you're asking questions, you're giving advice, you're being that, hey, that's a nice Chamber of Commerce member. You can always sign up for the chamber. Then you get referrals from there. You go from there to posting your little videos, and if they're not allowed, don't post them. Don't be that guy who's just constantly spamming, or that girl that's constantly spamming. Nobody wants to see your eyebrow threading videos 100 times. Somebody will ask you what you do, how much it is, where do you start, how much your services are, and you'll get a customer. When that customer gets a good service, then they'll recommend you. So we started posting Facebook, TikTok, going to Nextdoor. We got elderly customers that will, drive to their house for free, or we do our service charge, but then they want us to do more. We'll change the light bulbs. We'll, little handyman stuff, because we're not just cell phone repair.
It's more being a part of the community than just the particular repairs.
But most of the people think that it's just the repair, just the dollar. And then
I do love you fixed that in 38 minutes? Well, let me show you around the house.
Exactly. That was the other customer the other day. So I highly recommend people to put out more content with their free time than like back in the day. We used to put out more ads. If you had free time, you were putting out ads, strictly ads, as much as possible. But nowadays, the content is the shift. And they're not seeing it. They're just wondering how much they can pay somebody else to run their ads. These kids are going to be broke in 6 months.
Yeah.
They may make $1 for every 5 spent, and then they're going to be like, oh, that was a, return on 4 years at 20% overhead. I'm like, no. It's an interesting one. So that moves into people you go above and beyond for because they're a part of the community. Yesterday, the night before last, we had a customer that I waited a half hour after closing for, because apparently somebody here didn't call her, or so she said. Looking back at the call logs, it looks like she came in late in the afternoon. We told her, hey, come here by 7. We close at 7. Pick up your phone at 7, or right before 7. It'll be done 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
She calls 6:30. We're like, yeah, it's done. Come and get it. You got 30 minutes. Please, it's here. We do close at 7. She calls at 7:05. I'm like, hey, love to fix after hours. I'm closing up shop. What can I do for you? I answer if I'm on the way out, just because it's easier than getting a screaming customer. Why are you closed right at that 7? Yeah. Hey, I'm 15 minutes out. I really need my phone tonight. Can you please wait? I'm like, I can wait till 7:15. I can't wait any longer. It was your birthday. It was my wife's sister's birthday. Lots of stuff going on. Had to be home. I got kids. She calls 2 minutes later. If you don't wait, I swear to God. Just going off. Like, well, this got high quick.
Mm-hmm.
Calls again 2 minutes after that. It's like 7:10, 7:11. I'm like, hey, ma'am, I'm leaving at 7:15. I got shit to do. I said it just like that. I got shit to do. I got my own life. I got kids. I apologize, but I got things to do. And then she hung up on me. At that point, I'm like, okay, I already feel like she is up here. Like just right,
cranking it.
right at the top for no level. No reason to that level. And so at 7:20, I locked the door. I stayed an extra 5 minutes. I left through the back. 7:29, her boyfriend hops out the car, starts kicking on the door, pulling on the door, and then turns around, chases a bunch of other cars like he's some madman. Like, oh, those are the employees that just locked the door.
They're waiting here to laugh at us or something
Exactly.
like that.
They drove up in like a rental car that was full of shit all the way to the back window. Blankets. It looked like some chocolate or shit was smeared on the window. I'm not going to judge. They may be living in the car. Great. I felt more sorry for the man who was being run on this errand to get her phone when she had forgotten about it.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't here at drop off, but apparently he was here when she tried to pick up. We told her 10 to 7 the next day. She calls at 10 a.m. the next morning. What did she say?
I'm forgetting the specifics, but it was, should I answer, I'll have to fix. It's Eric. How can I? And she's like, I'm the one you locked out last night. Isn't it okay to come get my phone, or are you going to close the door again? I was like, yeah, I know. What's your name? Oh, here's your device. It's ready. Sorry about that. I know my guy was staying late. And she was like, oh, no, he didn't. And then hung up.
So after that, we expected, she had said on that phone call,
I'm on my way now.
Now. Be there soon. Something like that. So we assumed, she'll be here in 30 minutes. I waited 2.5 hours for her. Tried to call her again. Same voicemail box is full. Cannot leave a message. So I have to go to the VA at, I think it was 2 o'clock. So I left at 1:30. Get to the VA, come back by 3. Like, hey, I'm hungry. Go grab some food. Grabbed you some Burger King. As I'm leaving, I see that car pull up, and I'm like, hey, Eric, make sure you record this. We all did a horrible job of recording it, but apparently they flipped out on you because I said the word shit.
You cussed her out.
Yeah.
Cussed her out. It was the most disrespectful thing she's ever heard in her entire life.
And Eric's excuse was, he is the owner. It is after hours. I cannot judge what he said, and I don't have proof that he cursed at you. And she was just flabbergasted.
I knew you would say something like, I got shit to do. I'm out of here with the kids and all. But she was talking like you were like, F you effing bitch. Like I say F you.
Yeah, she just made it seem like it was some dire thing. So she paid, and the phone apparently had died overnight because I left it on the front counter. My apologies. I didn't plug it in. It was at 5 or 6% anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, after she paid, she throws this fit that, it's not even working. How'd you test it? So then Eric got into a 10-minute conversation with the guy who's now a repair technician.
He ran specifically a shop that did Xboxes only, and he was the regional expert in console and all electronic repairs for when his shop was open.
And this is a man who looks to be suffering from addiction. Half his teeth are black and missing.
Just about the left half of his mouth. That's it.
I couldn't understand half of the words he was saying because his tongue was stuck out like a seizured dog. And then, being a former addict myself, you get the smell, the look, the little things you can tell somebody's doing drugs. And you're like, yeah, I know that look. So after I come back with lunch, apparently they're waiting on me to tell me how they feel. And when I come out, I'm like, hey, at this point, she hasn't asked me for a discount or money back or anything, but they have mentioned it 4 or 5 times in the video to Eric, which is, this is where it gets peachy.
I don't know why you're even charging me for this.
Okay, yeah. So
it was the pattern of disrespect.
Sorry, we're back. UPS banging on the door. We had a lot of packages. They're coming early. Everyone's coming early. Makes it difficult. So she was here saying that I cursed her out. She couldn't believe that I was acting the way I was because I was like, hey, I walked up and I said, I'm not going to give you a discount. I'm not going to refund you any money. I'm going to stop you right there because I know where this is going. You think that I wronged you because I said shit. I could say shit, piss, fuck, anything I want to. This is my business. You took it here. Before I got anywhere else, I was trying to do you a favor by staying 20 minutes after. You got 15 different reasons why you should be thanking me for even going that far. I went above and beyond for you, and now you're going to come at me like you spent this immense amount of money, or you're without so much of your time and effort. You know, your phone was out of your possession for 2 days. You couldn't talk to your child because your baby daddy stole them from you. I'm sorry, you are on drugs. It's clear as day. Black fingertips, the whole nine. And then to give me your excuses, I wasn't taking it. Up to her, and I said, hey, let me tell you right before we get into this, because you were at a level last night that I didn't want to get to. If you're saying that I cursed at you because I said the word shit, that's my prerogative. I said I got shit to do. I didn't say it demeaning to you or in any offensive way. Also, it was 7:20, and I got shit to do. It's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I got shit to do today. That's how I operate, and you were already on that level. No, nothing was going to calm you down. You felt like I wronged you. Well, tough shit.
Because you would have waited 10 more minutes for her to show up, and then you would have had your half-hour argument today, last night. You would have been here
She was
till
in the store
8,
for
8,
almost
10,
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Still arguing. I don't want money, and this isn't about money. I don't need your money, dog. I got money. Yet then she steps outside after she gets real hyphy after, I accused her of wanting money back. She didn't want to pay for the repair. I get it. She thought she can get something for free. Then she's got her little homie. He's real fucked up, falling asleep, standing up. I think they just got high. And then the Xbox guy. Yeah. Then the Xbox guy. So when they step outside and then the Xbox guy is here, he's like, listen, Chris, we met a couple of years ago. I applied to work here. I was like, oh, really? Why didn't you get the job? Oh, I was going through some things. And I was like, oh, really?
Just then.
I couldn't tell. I'm so sorry. What happened? Well, I lost my job, lost my business. Every reason in the world why I could not hire him was staring me in the face. And he's like, from a customer service standpoint and an operator standpoint, you guys fell way below the standard here. I was like, oh, really? I was pretty sure we had it done by the time we expected. We notified the customer. We attempted to call the customer and then notified the customer of when we were open so that she could retrieve her device. In no way did I disrespect her until she came in, got real mouthy with me, and then I asked her to leave. That was today, not last night. I was peaceful, quiet. Now I'm going to tell you, your next recommendation is going to be something to try and calm the situation. Compromise. I see where this is going. I was a drug addict once. The principle is you're not getting a dime off of this repair. I stand my ground. You're not getting a dime. I will not in any way budge. I wasted my 20 minutes last night. At what I make per hour, you owe me $50. That's how it is. He's like, well, she makes $300 an hour. Why don't you pay her time for driving 45 minutes over here to pick up the phone? So when you dropped it off, you were under a contract to retrieve the phone when we tell you to, or within a reasonable amount of time. You failed your part of that contract, and I have to pay you for it. So I was like, why don't you get me a pay stub? Absolutely. I'll pay her $100. Get me a pay stub that says she makes $300 per hour. And then I ruined her hour of work. Oh, well, she consults and it's cash. Deposits? Bank statements?
You got a something anywhere?
I was like, I know where this is going, and you're not getting any money. He's like, well, then you're going to lose my business. I was like, but at this point, I never want to see you guys here in the store again. I don't care if you recommend me. I don't care if you talk shit. Yes, I do not care. You are not the customers that we need at the moment, not the customers we want. And he took offense to that, and I was like, that's when I shifted to listen, I got 9 years sober. I see everything right now. All of this is pointing to, you need to leave that girl and her little friend. Stop paying for the junk. Get your shit back together. You're living in a rental car. I see it. It's like, whoa, it's not the way it is. But then he shut down, stopped asking for money again, and left. Had to wait a couple of minutes for the phone to turn back on, but she kept popping her head back in because the phone was dead, So once the battery turned back on, then, oh, it's working. Well,
I had put the phone on the charger to charge it, and they kept unplugging it, pushing the on button, and it would say the little red battery plus cable, which means plug it in, and not just leave it on the charger for 4 minutes. This is all you really need on a
Just more
you know,
mad,
10-hour.
more mad,
Yeah.
more mad. It's not working. See, you didn't test it. And then they tried to justify to you before that conversation with him how you couldn't have physically tested it, or that the battery would physically turn on at any point if you had ever charged it once in its life.
Immediately, less than 10 seconds, he was saying it. The phone would just pop on, pop on. If a phone dies, it can take 20 minutes to power on. Charger, cable.
Specifically Apple, because they
Yeah.
take a less voltage when they're dead, so they don't overvolt the battery. There's more technical terms I can use for that, but yeah. So it takes its sweet time starting up, so it doesn't take in such an amount of power right off the gate and then start burning stuff up. So when they finally left, we all got a laugh. We got some recordings. We'll post it to TikTok. But then I really felt bad for these people. I'm like, these are in this area right now. It's a prevalent thing. There's a lot of drugs going around. I'm thankful I'm not around for that. Oh man, it's being sober is hard, but being a drug addict is worse. It's always getting out of bed. What's the saying? Where you're getting out of a worse situation from a better circumstance. Better circumstance, a worse situation, something like that. Point being, everyone always thinks shit's worse, or can get worse.
Mm-hmm.
No, not once you're addicted to a drug, out on the street, living in a car. Proud to say that your girlfriend makes $300 an hour from consulting work.
Cash only, non-invoiced consulting work.
I'm telling you, she's a hard to. Don't mean to demean women here. Somebody hit her with a car. She's disfigured. Totally fine. More praise to her. If she can get that money, get that money. But to then accuse me of like, the way I'm looking at her, the way I'm treating her is because of the way she looks, and I'm just an asshole. And I'm like, I understand I'm an asshole. Totally fine. You got it to this level, I'm going to match your energy. I'm not going to diffuse this situation. It was too golden. I felt like they just needed to leave because they had paid. They just wanted to come up with any excuse to get money. And then her little friend that was falling asleep standing up kept like waking up and getting hyphy, like, oh, what, they give you money? They give it to you? They get your phone? Like, is it ready? Like he was narcoleptic. No, he was high. Heroin, pills, fentanyl, whatever he's got.
Something.
That's sad. That's also one of the reasons that I don't target certain places with our SEO. The type of customers, you got to pick and choose your battles, because there's people who live in the ghetto who advertise in the ghetto, and I get that those customers can get you $20, $30 a little thing, but the amount of arguments over the petty bullshit, you didn't stay open an hour and I fell asleep or I got knocked out, Cool. It's not really my fault. Come by 12 hours when we're open. Or the people that are alcoholics that always sit out in front of 7-Eleven. Not the homeless. Homeless people are cool. They got money. They get their phones. They pay their bills. They just don't have a roof over their head.
Yeah, they bust their phones, but they got the cash to get them get those screens fixed.
They pay their dues, so to speak. But then you got the ones who are trying to save $1 million because they don't want to pay for anything out of pocket because everything needs to go to their junk. Everything needs to go to their fix. It's sad. So that's why I tend, more densely populated with homeless areas or densely populated drug urban areas, I tend not to advertise in, because as many of those people have $20, $30 each, it's not like I want their money because I don't want the drama that could ensue from them. And I've had the customers who come in for an iPhone. They want a screen and they're like, oh, I broke it. Or, hey, my buddy opened this up and says it's not genuine. And then all of a sudden all the screws are missing. All the panels are missing. What'd your buddy do? Oh, he opened it up to check your work. I want a refund. Your buddy randomly tore apart your $700 phone and ripped the cable, ripped the home button.
Ripped the screen, taking it off, and then took all your panels and then scratched your battery.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one. I love those guys. But it gets very dark very quick how many people tend to be from the streets and they want to make threats and get violent. You know, I think if I didn't call the guy out yesterday for being on drugs and tell him if he needed help that I was here, I don't think he would have backed down.
He would have just argued for 2 entire hours.
We had argued already for almost 2 hours, but the girl kept popping in and like giving some little hype man shit where it's like, oh yeah, fuck you, oh you motherfucker, da da da, just all this to hype him up, and then he was trying to be business-esque, like, listen, from businessman to businessman. So you think that I should come to a compromise and comp the entire repair of the
Compromise
screen?
of free.
Yeah, that's what he kept asking. Well, I think you should compromise the screen. She paid $129 for the screen repair. I think you should pay her money back. So then we make nothing. You keep the screen, and I get a happy customer that I don't want. That's a beautiful idea.
It's also never coming back ever.
Give me 3 to 5 days to figure it out. Give me your address. I'll send a representative from Sac Sheriff. They'll come with my decision. Just saying. I really feel like they got high yesterday, had some money in their pocket, came in to fix the phone, fixed it, got high, fell asleep. They're out of money in drugs today. Came in, argued for their money, because now this is the nearest they spent, right? It's understandable. I've been there. I've spent money at Walmart, when I was on drugs, and I'd go back in. I didn't like the food. Sir, here's your $40. I'm so sorry. Free food. So I pulled that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Walmart knew what was happening. Now it's, they don't do the whole like sight unseen refunds thing they used to do back in 2011, 2012. But it gets the desperate nature of some of these people when they're out of drugs and money is going to be, if we become a target, then it's going to be even worse for them. But we have all their information, so being insured there is the best outcome. So, and then an update to the S8. All of a sudden, the data is intact. Phone is now rebuilt from the CPR damage. Customer is going to be seeking legal ramifications for CPR to reimburse the damage from the ice pick.
Whatever the heck they pried it with.
It looks like they ice picked it or took a razor, stabbed it, tried to cut out a piece so they could reheat it, and then they reheated the entire board instead of just the 9 or SM279 chip.
Is the S8 the one that has the little tiny hole there? Because they could have wrenched that with a razor. And
Yeah, that's what
why
it looks
would have bent
like.
that.
Well, it didn't bend. It ripped in 3 different places. So that's why it made it look like...
They wrenched it, and then that's what ripped the panel.
Exactly.
Then, those fine point razors would look just like you. Just pop,
So the customer was happy. He got all his data back, 10 years of messages, etc. Spending $350 on that is not cheap.
Back up your data.
Always.
Right now. Get into your phone and back up your data.
Samsung Smart Switch, Also,
iTunes, whatever you got, back it up.
So also, we got our Facebook is live now. So as you can see right here, we've got our Facebook, we've got our page up. So we'll be working on some of these graphics for y'all, but you can reach us here if anyone would like to. And then we can go from there and reply or shoot any recommendations for any of this. You can always hit up us at duringbizhours@gmail.net or gmail.com. Why do I always say .net? So during BIZ hours at gmail.com. And then that is it for the day. And we'll see you all probably starting next week. All right. Peace out.
Bye.